Hey, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. It is absolutely colossal that you've joined us for another week. We're here at our brand new listing on Clairmont Court in Leesburg, and these sellers have done such a magnificent job getting this house prepared for market. We just thought we'd highlight it this week.
That's right. The condition is excellent and the pricing is just as nice. And it made the marketing of this property that much easier for Ray and I. And so what we thought was this is the perfect place to highlight the power of pricing. So if you're thinking of selling your home anytime soon, here are 6 tips for pricing well.
Yeah, the power of pricing really does begin with knowing the local marketplace. I mean, you need to know the comparables within your neighborhood and the comparables within your market in general. Similar size houses, whether they be detached houses, townhouses, condos, they're all going to be competing with many buyers. But probably the best thing to do is to know that market just like your house. Square footage is absolutely very important to understand as well. How much of the house is finished square footage? How much has been left unfinished? Because sometimes not all buyers want completely finished. They want areas for storage.
All right.
You also need to know the school districts as well. That's something that we hear over and over again as people come into these listings and the open houses. We need to know what school districts these properties fall in. It makes a world of difference to certain parents.
That is very true. Walkability is another one.
Yeah.
For example, this one is within walking distance of downtown Leesburg, which a lot of people are looking for.
And it's community center as well.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. It's a great community. The next one is to know the season you're in. So today was the first, I think, freezing rain we had for the season. We are at the end of fall, soon into winter,
Yes.
even though it already feels like it's winter outside. And so this time of year, it does slow down a little bit. And it's about being aware that your house might not sell within the first 2 days, and it's okay. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. It's just this time of year, there are less buyers out, and it may take a little while, but the right person will probably come along if you have priced it well and the condition is great.
Yeah, and the marketplace in general is having properties stay on the market for a little longer. So that's probably something you need to realize, that don't be anxious if you don't go and get a bunch of offers that first weekend. The next thing you probably need to do is to be very honest about the condition of the property. Certainly, bringing professionals into the house is always a great idea, and we always love to provide that service. We many times love to see houses before they're really prepared to go on the market to give advice to, but also it's a fun comparison about the then and the now. Ask some family and friends. Family and friends tend to be sometimes piercing, if you will, with regard to their comments, and many will have a lot of knowledge and see the house with a lot of bias, which you're going to bring it to.
Yes.
As you look at the houses, as you look at the paint colors, as you look at the other conditions of the house. And even in this time of the year, you want to make sure that the exterior of the house, of course, especially the front as you walk up to it, is in excellent condition, even though there may not be a lot of leaves on the trees right now because they're all in your yard. Look at the bushes. Look at other things like the exterior patio and the deck. Make sure that's all cleaned up, because you never get a second opportunity to make a first impression.
Very true. Very true. The other one is choose a price that will create momentum. So you don't want to price your home over what you think it's worth at the time. That will for sure slow things down a bit. Try to be reasonable with the price, and don't look at homes that have sold 3 months, 6 months ago, because again, it's a different season. And so you have to be highly competitive with what's on the market and what has recently gone under contract or just recently sold. So keeping that in mind, if you pick a good price, you will get more traffic, at least earlier on.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And then with that, in conjunction with knowing those numbers, as we talk about, you need to look at that information as data that's going to put your house up front in today's market, there's still plenty of buyers that are coming through these houses, whether they're open houses or the showings that we're now getting with a number of our new listings. But you do need to understand that those buyers, those agents that are working with the buyers, are looking at data. They're not really looking at the emotion. They're not looking at a lot of the memories that you, the owner, may have with the property. They're looking at data that's out there available to them. So they're going to do that comparative market analysis, that CMA that we talk so much about, and make sure that you understand that data versus just dealing decisions on, simply emotions. We've talked about that before, because when that buyer agent looks at these properties, and we've had a number of these conversations just recently in which they're coming back to us and saying, what information did you collect to arrive at that list price?
True.
Because many of them are actually interested in understanding the information that we're gathering so we can help them. But that buyer is looking at the data. They're not really focusing in on the emotion of that sale, of that property that perhaps has been in the family for some time.
So true.
Perhaps that was everything you could scrape together to purchase this house when you first were buying. That's important, but the data is just where the buyers are generally going to make their decision.
Yes, and on that same note, it is an emotional time. We understand that. One of the aspects when you price is how much work do you want to do? Because there's that emotional attachment, some homeowners refuse to take down the personal photos. They refuse to move certain things because they're still emotionally tied to the home. That has to be considered in pricing, because if you're not willing to do those things that will make your home more attractive for more buyers, then those are things that will affect the sale for sure, and something to keep in mind. The last tip we had is rely on your real estate agents. That's what we're here for. We study the market every day. We look at what's going on. We really go in depth to look at the other homes that are for sale. We look at each and every photo. We compare your backyard, your basement, your bathroom, to really come up with a fair asking price. And again, sellers are always involved in this process. It's working together to come up with a price that everyone agrees with.
Yeah, especially as we go into, we're heading into the winter season. And as you do that, you have to understand that overall traffic will probably slow down a little bit, right? So there are certain trends within the marketplace. Certainly there's seasonal trends. There's also, I think, trends with regard to what areas are popular for what reason. And the professional agents, the professionals in general that deal with this every single day are going to understand that. It's best to listen to them. They certainly have a lot of great insight because of their experience, because the amount of time they spend doing it. Overall, they have connections and a lot of, if you will, networking that comes to play. It's a good idea to listen to them.
Yes. So on that note, we hope you enjoyed the video. We do ask that you sign up for our weekly newsletter. And if you have any trouble doing that, we have numbers for Ray and for myself in the notes below. Please text us, call us, reach out, let us know you want us to sign you up for that newsletter, and we will do it.
Yes, sir. And we are always looking forward to your questions. Until next week, enjoy the beginning of winter.
Bye.
Bye.